Hello guys. Good day to you all. In this video we are going to learn how to install Developer Edition of Microsoft SQL Database on Windows platform. Here we go. Different editions of Microsoft SQL Server. There are various editions of Microsoft SQL Server 2019 which includes Enterprise Edition, Standard Edition, Web Edition, Developer Edition, and Express Edition. To choose the best fit for your requirements, you need to know the features supported by each edition. The scope of this tutorial is limited to Developer Editions, features and its installation. Why and where to use Developer Edition? Developer Edition is identical to Enterprise Edition. The only difference is that you cannot use it in production environment. Using Developer Edition for development and test allows you to use all features available in Enterprise Edition without any cost, since it is free. Now, there is no need of cost saving by having Standard Edition in development and test environment where the features are mismatching with Enterprise Production Server. In this tutorial we will learn how to download and install Microsoft SQL Server 2019 Developer Edition. Download link. You can download the installer executables by clicking the link below. You can also download it from the Visual Studio subscriptions. Let's start the installation. The executable to install the software will be copied to your default download directory. Right-click and run as administrator. Options are self-explanatory. We will choose Custom. Media location is the location where installer will download the source required to install the software. The minimum free space to install is 8,994 megabytes and the download size will be 1,426 megabytes. Before clicking install, make sure your internet connection is fine. Software is being downloaded in the location you provided earlier. MSSQL Server 2019 is also available for Linux platforms. We will try this in another session. The available buttons are pause to halt the download or cancel to stop download. Wait until the process is complete. Download is complete and the list of options is given. Options in the right panel related to planning are self-explanatory. Most of it is the documentation, however you can also download Data Migration Assistant, DMA, and SQL Server Migration Assistant, SSMA. We will click on Installation to change the options in right panel. The first option is for installing a fresh standalone server or add feature to an existing installation. Second is for installing Oracle Reporting Services. This allows you to produce formatted reports with table in forms of data, image, graph, and charts. You need only one mobile app to access dashboard and reports on your mobile. Report Designer is also provided. Third option is to install management tools. Management packages are required to configure, manage, and administrate all components within SQL Server. Tuning Advisor and Profiler are the commonly used components. Fourth option is to install data tools, which are modern tools for building relational databases in Azure, analysis service data models, integration services, and reporting services. Fifth option, failover cluster installation requires Windows Server Failover Cluster, WSFC. With this, always on can be configured. Sixth option is for adding a node to an existing clustered environment. This also requires WSFC and always on. Seventh is to update to a newer version of SQL Server. 8 is to install a machine learning server. Artopes is to install Developer Edition of Microsoft SQL 2019. We will select the first option. For Developer Edition, key is not required since it is free. Click Next. Tick to accept the license terms. Click Next. Setup files are getting installed. Click Next when the process is complete. Setup is looking for any potential issue which can be resolved before the installation begins. The warning seen above is a firewall warning. Default MSSQL port 1433 is not allowed for inbound and outbound connections. Without opening the port, database will not be accessed over the network. Open the port and rerun the check. Then click Next. The appropriate features to install depends on your need. There is no default or a perfect list which can help. You can always add a new feature afterwards. We will install the minimum and the most important. Select Installation Directory and click Next. If you desire to install multiple instances on the same server, then for the identical identification you need to give a name to the instance. If there is only one instance, then you have a choice to either keep the default name or change it. Click Next. In this screen you can specify the startup type of each service that will get installed. These settings are for Windows Startup. Generally we keep Database Engine, Agent, and Browser Service to auto start. Click Next. This is an important screen where you have to decide the authentication mode. Windows Authentication Mode will only allow Active Directory users to connect to the server. Mix Mode allows to create users in SQL Server, and it also accepts Windows Authentication. For Mix Mode you need to specify password for the administrative account SA. If you want to add the login Windows account to the list of administrators, click on Add Current User. In the next tab, which is Data Directories, you have to specify the default location for data and log files. In future any data or log file will be created in these directories until you provide another path manually. Next tab is Temp DB. Here you have to specify number of temp files, initial size, auto growth, and the maximum size. The initial temp file will be created during the installation with default parameters. The only change is the log directory. Parallel execution makes the query run faster. If you have more than one CPU cores or virtual cores, then set this value same to the number of cores. In this tab you have to specify the minimum and the maximum value of memory that SQL instance can utilize. These parameters are based on your system's available memory. As a general approach, if your SQL server is a dedicated server, you can use up to 60% of the total memory. Click Next. Now the setup is ready to install the software as per your instructions. Finally, click on the Install button. Installation may take some time. When the installation process is complete, SQL Server will be ready to use. Thanks for watching the video. Please like the video and subscribe the channel to appreciate our hard work.